Hey, this is the video for 2.2, Ecosystem Services. So go ahead and check out the overview and set up your guided notes. So when we're talking about ecosystem services, we really want to know how the parts of the ecosystem can actually benefit humans. And then we want to know that what we do to disrupt these ecosystems to make these services less valuable for us. So when we're talking about ecosystem services, we're really only talking about the benefits that humans can see. If you're talking about feeding relationships, if you're talking about available oxygen for fish, that is not a related service unless you tie it back to humans. So when we talk about ecosystem services, there's this nice little acronym. You can think about CRAPS. Obviously there is no A, but we have cultural, regulating, provisioning, and supporting. These are ecosystem services. This is a poster that I have in the classroom. You will see it. So the first service is cultural services, and these are non-material benefits that people will obtain. So these are things that you actually can't put a finger on, like for example, religion. If there's a religion, like something tied, especially with indigenous populations, like they have land areas that are tied to their religion. You may have history, you may have cultural areas, This was taken in Belize. This was from an ancient site somewhere in the middle of the country. Aesthetics is how pretty something looks. If you have a beautiful view, that benefits a human. And finally, recreation. So swimming, boating, skiing, hiking, all of those are cultural services. Regulating services are benefits that can help moderate the natural phenomena. Like for example, we have carbon sequestration. If you're locking carbon away, this is big giant redwood trees in California. Water purification. If the water is getting cleaned out for human use by different plants are removing toxins from the water, that can benefit humans in drinking water. That's an ecosystem service. Preventing floods. Now preventing floods, because it's preventing human properties from getting damaged, that is an ecosystem service. And also pollination, because it's helping to pollinate crops that we may have for agricultural purposes. Now, one thing I'm going to say is there are different ecosystem services listed in different textbooks. So I tried to get these. Some people have different, they put things that are regulating, they put them in supporting and vice versa. So for our purposes, these are going to be the most complete list of examples. You might see some that consider them supporting and regulating and vice versa. Different sources have different services, and it's kind of frustrating, but you've been warned. The provisioning services, this is pretty easy. These are materials that are obtained from ecosystems, like agriculture. Provisioning, those are provisions, anything that we need in order to survive, like food, housing, and medicine. Also, if we're having drinking water would also be one of these services as well. And finally, we have supporting services. And these services are required in order for the other ecosystem services to occur. So they support the other services, which are in turn supporting humans. Some examples are photosynthesis. Because, for example, we couldn't have agriculture without photosynthesis. Biodiversity and habitats is another one. We also have nutrient cycling, so all of those biogeochemical cycles. And finally, soil formation. Now, some other sources have also had pollination in here. Pollination sometimes goes under supporting, sometimes goes under regulating. I tried to keep it in sync with the textbook that we are using. So I would like you to respond to this check for understanding. And now we're going to practice FRQ. So I want you to describe an ecosystem service that is provided by wetlands. So I hope that this video was informative. I thank you for your attention, and I will see you soon.